Hey guys, so this is going to be opening 013, the 13th opening, being the bent Ganglion opening or the Ganglion opening. Not exactly sure how you can actually really pronounce that, but yeah, the sequence is relatively short for this opening. As you can see, it's just a 4-move sequence when the opening starts because it's a very early variation opening. So we start off with F5 and perpendicular, and of course the usual sequence towards the tiger opening would be to play C3. And over here, instead of just jumping into that um, usual book move of D3, you actually immediately vary it to G5 over here, which is just a stretch out -4. So this is a bent ganglion opening, and as you can see, as you can see, you just vary it as early as the second move. So definitely, that is probably one of the earliest point you can vary it in opening. So the probability of this happening is very high. As long as black plays that opening, you can probably just do it. And I think it's relatively counterintuitive for black in terms of the follow up. However, you give up quite a bit of an early disadvantage, probably in exchange for a trade-off for a surprise factor. You also just let your opponent gain that early lead. It could be difficult to overturn the lead if it follow up. So usually over here, the opponent either stretches out to c5 or goes towards b6. The mid game is definitely difficult as well. One of the sequence that actually could potentially follow is just white going towards this move, black taking back to regroup, and of course white jumping out to b6, and black going to f6. And over here, instead of going for the best move, one of an interesting sequence that was actually played out in the World Othello Championship 2014 by Mr. Song Yan from China against Pianet of Thailand. Both are definitely world-class players. So I think during the playoff match, this opening actually happened. And of course, it caught a lot of people by surprise. So I believe the follow up would be b5 over here, followed by black just regrouping back to f4. And over here, you have white jumping into d3, and black still regrouping back to e3. And then over here, when white jumps into f3 and black goes for that regroup, white actually jumps to a surprising e2, which goes for an extreme line control over here and gives black probably a lot of options to play, but it does disrupt black's flow of thought. At the same time, it controls this mini diagonal and it creates an access to jump back right in. So this is one of the sequences that I think really surprised everyone during that World Othello Championship. So when Song Yan of China actually played this, it did surprise everyone, including some of the Japanese players who were actually onlooking. I believe Mr. Kazuki Okamoto from Japan, the 2013 world champion, actually did make a comment that this particular opening could actually be played out. I think he was a bit surprised and taken aback. So I think, yeah, this sequence was probably then studied by quite a lot of players online. So even though I tried to play a few of those sequences online, I think many players now know how to counter this particular opening. So I guess many of times when you actually find a surprisingly strong opening to use it, it is good to actually use it at the critical moments and probably keep it secret to yourself. So that's why there is a bit of secrecy in terms of trying to conserve, best openings for probably the most worthwhile moments. So I'll leave you at that thought and this particular variation of this opening. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you at the next opening video.